Really quick before we start off this video, I forgot to do this last time. I intended to buy the Trinity mirror at the end of last episode, but I forgot. So I'm going to buy it now, and I'm also going to equip it and apply the gold dust to it. Anyway, on with the video. Hello folks, Everchanger here, and welcome back to more Ōkami. Last time, we wrapped up all of the side quests we could do upon the defeat of Ninetales, including a very intense battle against the new and improved Canine Warriors. This time, I don't want to waste any time. We are heading through that door, and we are heading to the Northern Land. Ami, do you know where this hole leads to? You know, there was a foul smoke rising from Ninetales which flew off to the Northern Lands. That's what's waiting for us on the other side of this tunnel? Okay, the typos, seriously. Anyway, what's up with that creepy lightning? I'm getting a bad feeling about this. Alrighty, and here we have a very grossly under-exaggerated tunnel, because considering we are actually going under the ocean right now to a completely new part of Nippon, this tunnel really doesn't seem nearly as long as it should be. Anyhow, right through here I should mention, this video might be a little bit long just because there's a lot of stray beads I want to grab in this upcoming area, because there's a lot of them, but none of them take very long to do, so I'm not really sure how long this one will turn out. Anyway, into the light. And here we are, in the frigid north. Kamui. Brrr. Is it cold here or what? How could anywhere be so darn cold? I know Kamui's the northernmost part of Nippon, but come on. I don't remember it ever snowing this hard before. Listen, Ami, I'm gonna hunker down in this fur coat of yours. You try to find us some shelter from this nasty blizzard. Interesting what Isun says there. It seems that he has actually been to Kamui before. Anyway, he would really like us to find some heat, so I think first things first, we have a battle, because why not? This is the introduction of the new imp-type enemy for this area. These are called Namahages. And I believe most of these guys have a floral finisher of wind. Now I'm going to call up that right away, and I have to get used to using a reflector again, because it's actually been a long time since I have used a reflector. I think it was like, oh, I think it was the battle against Orochi where I used the Infinity Judge, and that's the last time I ever actually used a reflector as my main weapon, so I really have to get used to it again. Anyway, I'm going to call up some wind right there, and yes indeed, I am correct about their weakness, which is awesome. I'm going to slash you right there, and give you a good couple of whacks, and we should be good. Now, it's worth noting, the battles in this area are going to be quite difficult. You'll notice that they're introducing Namahages, but they're having us fight 5 of these suckers, if I counted correctly, which is really, really kind of crazy. So you have to be ready for some crazy battles up in this area, because the enemies are a lot more difficult than what you probably are used to. Anyway, with that, collected up a couple more Demon Fangs, although there's nothing really major from here on out that we really need them to buy. I'd just like to have them just so I can buy the other stuff and show off what it does at some point. Anyway, let's get out of this cold. Brrr. Look, fire! Fire! Guess we're not gonna freeze to death after all. What's your problem, Ami? I'm allowed to relax in front of the fire, ain't I? Yikes. You... You see that, Ami? I'm not talking about that silly mask. I mean his sword. That puppy's a bona fide masterpiece. Looks like he means business. This is Ōki, and he is no pushover, actually. He's quite challenging if you don't know exactly what you're doing. You want to keep out of the way of his sword, because as Zisun said, that thing is a bona fide masterpiece. And in addition, he can also block with it, and he will do a lot of damage as recoil if you try and go after him when he's got his sword at the ready like that, so you have to be really careful. Ōki is a character that we are going to be seeing quite a bit of over the course of our adventure from here on out, and I have to say, he's probably one of my favorite characters in this game, just because his story arc is really... I mean, I don't think it's really unique, except in the fact that it's just really well executed. I just don't know what it is about Ōki. I just really like whenever I see him. He's really, really cool. I mean, it's pretty cliche, and you'll probably know what I'm talking about once we get further on into the game. I just really, really like Ōki in spite of that. Anyway, we've already got him about half down, and as I mentioned last time, ample, liberal use of Veil of Mist is definitely recommended in this fight, among others. Anyway, you want to avoid all those swords. It's an attack that's very similar to one I think we've seen a couple of boss-type characters use in the past, so you definitely want to keep an eye out for it. Anyway, I'm going to cast up another Veil of Mist right here, and we should be able to get him pretty close to being down right here. But once you do actually defeat him, something very interesting is going to happen. Indeed, Ōki has the ability to transform into a wolf, which is something you probably didn't see coming. He is part of a tribe of characters that live up in the northern lands that have the ability to do this. We will learn later that their names are the Owina tribe, and it is very, very heavily inspired by the Ainu tribe that is indigenous to Hokkaido in ancient Japan, which is really, really cool. And you might notice that since we are in Kamui, if you pop open the map, Kamui does indeed correspond to Hokkaido, and this is the exact same part of Japan that Sinnoh from Pokemon is based off of. So yeah, there's always a snow theme going on here because it's basically Japan's version of Alaska, as I understand it. So it's a really, really cool thematic thing that they've got going here. Anyway, once Ōki is transformed into his wolf form, he will behave very similar to the canine warriors that we fought last episode, so that fight might serve as a bit of a refresher if you're not really sure how to go about fighting these guys. You'll notice right here, he can actually split into copies, which is a very, very interesting attack. You'll definitely want to go after the main one, and keep out of the way of those clones, because they can do quite a bit of damage. I don't know how he's capable of pulling off a clone attack like that, but I mean, it just adds to the awesomeness that is Ōki, because he's just so cool. Anyway, whoa, that did a lot of damage. We're going to cast up a couple more Veils of Mist, and we should be able to get him down pretty soon here. And then we should probably be able to find out what the deal is with that sword of his. So, let's finish him off. Just wait for him to finish his crazy charging attack, and of course I get hit right at the end there. And wow, he's really going after me right at the end here. Aye. Alright, cast up another Veil of Mist, and we should be able to finish this. Wow, just a pixel left, because of course. Can we slash that open? We can. Nice. Not bad, White One. I am Ōki, warrior of the Ōina tribe. What the? Now my arrows bring on thunder? This can't be a coincidence. Doesn't seem like a curse either. This must be fate. This has to be a sign from the gods. It's my destiny to live and die with my arrows. And we get a whopping 50 praise for that, and of course the location of the guardian sapling. All this time, I've been saying I wanted to do big things. But I was really just traveling so I could have an easy life. Now I see there's no such thing as an easy path. Not when you devote yourself to mastering one thing. The gods have shown me my true path, the path of archery. So what are you gonna do now? The time's come for me to stop being so whimsical. My real journey starts here and now. We must have some kind of strange link between us. It's only when you two are around that the gods show their hand. I'll never forget both of you. If we ever meet again, let's share a few apples together. Farewell, my friends. The apple guy's gone. Boy, he sure was all fired up, even more so than usual. Maybe he's finally found his reason to live. If only all of us could do that. Interesting reflections by Yisun, and indeed that is the last we will see of Yoichi. Anyway, with that, let's not waste any time. Let's do what we can to help the land of Kamui. And with that, Kamui is at least a little bit purified from the onslaught of evil. And with that, we get 50 praise and one of my favorite songs in the game. The overworld song for Kamui is God tier. God tier, yes. Like, it's so good. I love it. Honestly, I go back and forth between this and Ryoshima Coast as one of my absolute favorite songs in the game. Anyway, how do I get out of here? There's a lot of invisible walls right around here. Anyway, somewhere right near the Guardian Sapling is one thing I want to knock out immediately, but first, it looks like we have a required fight against this thing. This is an igloo turtle, which is basically a chimera except with a bit of an ice theme. What you want to do with this guy is basically wait for him to appear on screen and then just unleash Fire Burst on him because he is super weak to it. If I could even get it to activate. Oh wait, I think we have to hit him first. That's a little awkward. What we want to do is we want to hit him a little bit, just wail on him, just like with the Chimera enemy. And once you've wailed on him enough, he is going to fall down and become colorless and summon in a fire. What you'd usually want to do is just use the fire on him, but honestly, Fire Burst does a lot to this guy. Wait, what's going on? Oh, I guess I just stunned him. Okay. I think if we use Fire Burst again, we're going to get some results, if I'm not mistaken. It's a little bit funky. There's a certain order you have to do these things in to fight this enemy. I think it's stun, and then hit with fire, and then unleash with Fire Burst. I think that's the ideal way to fight this guy. But yes, as you might imagine, this guy's floral finisher is Fire Burst, and he gives out quite a few Demon Fangs when you manage to pull it off. So once we've done that, let's see if we can get that going. I'll be honest, I've had a lot of trouble getting Fire Burst to go off in this Let's Play, which is weird, because normally I have no trouble getting it to activate, but nowadays I've been having some serious issues with it. Come on. Come on. There we go. Maybe it matters which direction I draw it in, but anyway, once you unleash Fire Burst on that guy, he goes down no problem. And yeah, that was a really bad performance on time, I know. Anyway, somewhere over here... Oh, also, Kamui is home to Yellow Demon Scrolls. Power Slash 2 does jack on these guys, so you're going to need something a bit more powerful to deal with them. Gee, I wonder what it could be called. Anyhow, right over here we have a clover, which I would like to grab, and you might notice a bit of a theme in this area. This area hands out praise like candy. You're going to be getting probably a good 500 or 600 praise in this one area. Anyway, right over here, there is a bombable ground, which can only be accessed with Cherry Bomb 2. Gee, I wonder what we could find in here. Indeed, it is another one of these divine springs. We got quite a bit of stuff to bloom down here for even more praise. It's really, really crazy how much praise they dish out in this area. Because right here we got, I believe, another 30. Yes, and then all 3 of these clovers each give 30. It's insane how much they dish out to you. Anyway, clover number 2. And right over here, dig this up for clover number 3. Number 3. Number 3. There we go. Ay. Anyway, right over here, another divine spring. The god of the divine spring helps those who toss in some money. Anyway, nothing good ever came out of having too much money. Why not cleanse your body and soul by tossing some in? What you want to do is, once again, toss in the highest amount 3 times. And once you have done all that, Amaterasu, origin of all that is good and mother to us all. Only a heart as pure as your own can pierce the darkness. The kindness overflowing from your wallet, heart, has further strengthened me. The destructive power of 3 cherry bombs is now yours. I trust that you will make good use of it. Yes, indeed, we now have the power of Cherry Bomb 3. Now, it is worth noting, there is a stray bead available in Shinshu Field now that we have this. I'm just not going to be doing it until later. Bakugami's Cherry Bomb technique just got even more powerful? Just think about what you could do with 3 Cherry Bombs at once. We're on a roll here, Ami. Yes, indeed, this move has quite a bit of punch. Anyway, right there is a scroll explaining how to use it. Let's head back off to the surface. Alrighty, here we are back out on the surface. Now, there are 5 stray beads and a sun fragment I want to grab in this area. None of them should, in theory, take a very long time, so we're just going to be basically quick shooting these from the remainder of this video, and hopefully it won't take all that long. And yes, indeed, since this is a frozen wasteland, there's a bit of ice physics. Also, for that reason, since there's not very much water, I have de-equipped the water tablet in favor of the P spell again. Anyway, right here. Oh boy, right here. Oh boy, right here. This is yet another one of these divine springs. Now, there's something different about this one, and not in a good way. You'll notice right over there, there is a blockhead. That is not just any blockhead. That is easily, probably one of the most challenging stray beads in the entire game to get. Luckily, though, they also dish out a butt-ton of praise in this area, so at least they apologize in advance for the hell they are going to put you through down here. Anyway, once we've purified all these... Come on. It's always this third one. It's always this third one. There we go. Hey. We have this dude. Gaha! I am Blockhead. I guard this place so that all shall pass. Wait. Make that none shall pass. Not you again. You just never learn, do you? Then again, I gotta hand it to you. You're one persistent dude. White Demon of Death, finally you have come this far. In the name of the Blockhead clan, I, Blockhead Grand, strongest of our clan, rise up to stop you. Oh boy, I'm not looking forward to doing this. I know of your deadly skills. They have been the end of my brethren. Yeah, all 3 of them, and I have not underestimated you. Indeed, I have been training daily to ready myself for your arrival. My body is now as hard as steel. I defy you to find any weak points. Go right ahead. Strike my rock-hard body to your heart's content. It'll be our pleasure. Well, let me ask you, how come you guys never take the offensive? I mean, how do you expect to ever win that way? The Blockhead clan never resorts to such boorish acts. Take the beating, then dish it out. That is our clan's philosophy. Now, the time for talk is over. Come, strike me if you dare. This guy has not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, but a whopping friggin' 8 weak points. It's insane. Let's see if I can get this. Is that it? Nah, not even close. Gaha! Is that the true power of the White Demon of Death? How very disappointing. As you might imagine, this is going to take me numerous tries, so with that, I am going to cut to my successful attempt. Yes! Huh? No! This cannot be. You have struck every last one of my weak points. And after I trained so hard to cover them up, your sight is not of this world. It is like the eyes of the gods. O White Demon of Death, behold, the moment of death is upon me. May this image be burned into your eyes for all eternity. And for that we get 50 praise, and I have to admit, that was probably only about a 5-minute cut, and I didn't cheat, and I'm so proud of myself. Most people just record their screen on their phone. Blockhead Grand. I'll see to it that your epic tale lives on forever. Oh man, I am so glad we got that one over with. Anyway, I only hit one thing. We get a silver pocket watch right there, which is a very valuable treasure, probably one of the most valuable. We get a stray bead, and believe it or not, we also get a gold dust, which is a pretty neat little number right there. Anyway, with that all over, let's head back to the surface. Alrighty, now that we are back up here, you will notice that there is a little bit of an offshoot right over this way that we never explored when we were over here just earlier. I would like to head over here now just because there's something pretty interesting over in this direction that I would like to show off. And believe it or not, it's actually a character that we've met before. 2 characters, in fact. Check it out. It's Kokari and Ume. Huh? Is that you, doggy? Remember me? We played together back in Agata Forest. Kokari? Is that you? How'd you get all the way out here? I wanted to become a real man like Susanoo. So I took my dad's fishing pole and set out on an epic journey. You know, I liked the river, but it's nothing like the vast sea. It makes me realize just how insignificant my life was. Wow. You're no longer that crybaby I met back in Agata Forest. Now that I think about it, you look more grown up, too. Haha, you really think so? I've seen a lot of Nippon's great outdoors, but the vast icy sea of Kamui is a far harsher environment than anywhere else. If I could prove myself equal to the harsh wilderness here, maybe I could become a real man like Susanoo. There he is again, getting back to nature with his fishing pole, and without line or bait to boot. Now I know why my dad cherished this pole. When I hold it in my hands, I can hear Mother Nature herself speak. Hey doggy, how about we do some fishing, just like old times? I want to show you what I can do now. This is completely optional and I don't want to do it. Huh? Going already? Well, come on back if you change your mind. Let's see, what does Ume have to say? Why, look who we have here. I could smell you 2 a mile away. Ume, is that really you? Wow, just look at you. You've really become something. But you're still as ugly as ever, hee hee. I see you have become stronger, but Kokari and I have too. We have traveled many roads and seen many things. But I suppose you may still best us in fishing or fighting. You hear that, Ami? He's still dishing out those half compliments of his. Really, really nice detail that you can talk to them right here. Anyway, right over in this corner, there is a treasure chest buried right here. Easier to see at night, of course. Dig it up, and we have inside another stray bead. Very, very nice. Alrighty, and right here, this little snow pile, if you slash it once, twice, 3 times, you get a statue of Isun times 1,000. I believe you can also get Amaterasu and possibly even Sakuya from that. I'm pretty sure it's random. Anyway, we want to head inside. And yes, indeed, it is the dojo. Look who's here. Greetings, my little wolf friend. What the? Not you again? Can't you just pick a place to run your dojo and stick with it? I've already explained myself, no? Be it a lone isle among the waves or the most frigid mountain peak, I forge a warrior's path throughout the land. Wow, you are one serious dude, and here I thought you were laid back. Your face really changes when you get down to business. And what has brought you here? Do you once again seek my tutelage in the fighting arts? Yes, indeed we do. First things first, I want to buy Hardhead right here. This allows you to tackle rocks to break them, and I believe its power scales with the power of Power Slash, so we're going to buy this. So you once again choose to try your hand at the fighting arts. This is the exact same cutscene as we've seen before, so I think we're just going to jump over it. And we are going to head on inside. Let the lesson begin. We'll practice the Hardhead God technique. This one is very self-explanatory. Don't flinch, just swing the Wii remote. Yes, that's it. Your head turns to steel, not even iron boulders stand in your way. With practice, Hardhead will evolve and grow stronger. Be headstrong, don't let any obstacle stand in your way. Well, did you understand? I mean, I pretty much get it. Alrighty, he'll give us a technique scroll just like before, and then we will be able to practice it. In fact, well, actually no, we don't get to practice it. He's just like on the honor system, I guess. Anyway, with that, we are going to be heading out, and I want to buy something else. Had enough, eh? Listen, Wolf, gaining experience in a single skill is admirable. Exact same text that we've seen before. Alrighty, the next up I want to buy, you have Counter Dodge right here, which causes Fleet Foot to do damage. I still don't recommend buying it. We also have Holy Falcon, which is the one I want to buy. It will cause the double jump to do damage. Remember that wispy power that was doing damage whenever the Canine Warriors would jump last episode? Yeah, this is it. We also have 4 Winds and 5 Winds, Spirit Storm and Spirit Armageddon, and 3 and 4 Shears, which are basically all of the weapon upgrades for combos. And then we have these 3, which basically what they do is if you equip the same type of weapon on both your main and sub slots, it will boost the power of both. We have Golden Fury, which I believe I explained before, and we also have Brown Rage, which is an upgrade to Golden Fury. I bet you can guess what it does. Anyway, right up here, we are going to be buying Holy Falcon. Let the lesson begin. We'll practice the Holy Falcon God technique. And what you want to do here is Holy Falcon is an evolved version of Holy Eagle. Press the A button to jump, then press it again to jump higher. The Holy Falcon causes attack power to accumulate. That power changes the jump into an aggressive and powerful attack. I think we understood it pretty well enough. I'll grant you this technique scroll, exactly the same deal as before. Let's see if we get to practice this one. Alright, as you can see, we now have that wispy behind us, which is really, really cool, and it will indeed do damage, although it honestly doesn't do too terribly much. Alrighty, here we are back outside now that we've learned both of those techniques. Now, there are a couple more stray beads that I would like to grab in this area, and a lot of them go really, really quick, so I don't think anyone will mind if I extend this video just a little bit so I can grab them. First things first, there's a cave somewhere around here, although I don't think it's that way. One thing I do have to admit is this area is quite difficult to navigate, I feel like. It's very, very easy to just simply get lost. Anyway, right here, first things first, we have a demon gate that I want to take out. And inside, there might be a new enemy. I actually don't remember exactly what we should expect to find here. Anyway, I'm going to be taking out these Namahages. Each one is basically a counterpart to the imps from Shinshu Field and the guardians and things like that. And of course, out of force of habit, I go after using Power Slash on them, which really isn't the best idea considering their floral finisher is Gale Storm right here. Gonna take that out, and boom. Very nice. And we have a Bucket Namahage here, which is basically a copy of the Yellow Imp. The only difference is it can actually do damage as it burrows under the crown, which you definitely want to keep an eye out for. Anyway, you keep out of his line of sight, you can damage him pretty heavily with Power Slash, and you definitely want to take him out as best you can. And indeed, he will also be stunned right there, and I believe this guy's floral finisher is actually Cherry Bomb, if I remember correctly. Anyway, taking that out, we purify a Mermaid Spring, and we get a ton more praise. We're over 600 praise. That's like some sort of record. But the one thing I really want to draw attention to is right over here, there is a treasure chest that we can dig up. Open this up, and inside there is another stray bead. Very nice. Alrighty. Next up we want to do is over this way. Now there's another demon gate right here. I'm not going to be taking it out this episode just because we have no reason to. Right over here, there's a rock that we can slash for some praise, and I believe this clover gives us 40, if I'm not mistaken. Now, if I jump over any clovers or anything like that, don't worry, I will be going around later on in the LP and grabbing anything that we just so happen to have missed. And we have a lot of praise. I want to upgrade something. I'm going to upgrade my health. In fact, I think we might be able to upgrade it twice. Yeah, we can, so let's just do that. Upgrade our health twice. Bam. Yeah, as you can see, this area dishes out praise like there is no tomorrow. Anyway, that cave I was looking for is actually right over this way. Yeah, since Kamui is very blizzardy, it can get a little confusing to navigate. Anyway, right on through here, we have this area. First off, right over here is a treasure chest containing a scroll that, now that we are here in Kamui, I think we ought to read. Tribe of the Moon. So let's hop into our menu and read that really quick. After decades of internal debate, I have decided to write about the man who spoke to me regarding the celestial plane's destruction. I shall endeavor to shoulder the heavy burden of that man's fate. My brush shall act as a bridge to the shadowy past. The man had identified himself as a member of the Moon Tribe. The idea of life thriving on that desolate rock is mind-boggling. Furthermore, their civilization has far surpassed our own. Most of their ranks succumbed to death, but this man had fled. He was silent on the topic of why his civilization was destroyed. What business could the Golden Tribe of the Moon have with us? I gaze into the distance, knowing the answer cannot evade me forever. Very, very interesting bit of backstory right there. Definitely something worth keeping in mind for later. Anyway, what we want to do is we want to navigate over in this direction because it is over this way where there is a stray bead that I want to grab. Pretty easy stuff. And of course we also have a clover right here with 30 more praise. Like, they give out so much praise in this area, it's ridiculous. Anyway, right here we also have a bear, and bears actually take fish feedbacks, which is pretty nice. But I mean, compared to all the praise we've been getting, this really isn't all that much. I mean, it's only 5. Anyway, right over here, we want to fire burst that open. And inside is yet another stray bead. Very, very nice. Anyway, with that, I'm going to meet you guys back out front of the cave. Alrighty, back outside the cave here, we want to head up this path, but not all the way. This is the path to, as you can see, Wepkir, the home of the Owina, but we don't want to head over there quite yet. Instead, what we want to do is we want to jump off this cliff right here, and we will be deposited right over here next to yet another clover for even more praise. Yeah, there's so much praise in this area, it's ridiculous. Anyway, jump down this way, and somewhere, aha, here it is, we have stray bead number 5 for this video. If I can just grab it, there we go, ay ay ay. Very nice. And over here we have a cherry bombable wall. Gonna kaboom that open, and inside there is something that veterans of the series might remember. We go over here and make it nighttime, and dig this up. We have the ominous purple smoke. Let's jump on in. And yes, we have one last fight against the bandit spider. This, of course, like all the other ones, is going to result in a reward of a sun fragment. However, if you were to come back here later on in the game, there is something very challenging. In fact, I would argue that what you find in this cave near the end game is the most difficult challenge this game will present to you, period. So you definitely want to make sure you're prepared if you want to return to this cave after this fight. Anyway, can we please just hook one last one of these? There we go. Anyway, once we've hooked him 3 times, he will open up, and once again, what you want to do is you want to draw the fire to all of his weak points, because he is ridiculously weak to fire. So that will do half damage, and then we jump up in the air again, grab that fire source all the way over here, drag it around to all the weak points, and I think Power Slash for good measure, or, I don't know, we'll just wail on it. And he's already dead. Really, really easy, simple stuff. And of course, perfect rank, because how could you not with a fight this easy? Anyway, with that, a chest will be spawned in. Open this up, and we get a sun fragment. Been quite a while since we've grabbed one of these, but yeah, it's really, really nice to have. Anyway, with that, back to the surface. Alrighty, here we are back on the surface, and if I'm not mistaken, that is absolutely everything I wanted to grab in this episode. Let's see, got that. Yep, it looks like we got absolutely everything. As you can tell, there was a lot of stuff in this episode, so I really had to have a bit of a checklist present. But anyway, I think with that, we are going to be ending things off here. So, this past episode of Ōkami, we made our way here to the frigid north country of Kamui, and we met with Ōki and got a lot of very interesting backstory about Isun, although a lot of it remains shrouded in mystery. And of course we obtained some extra brush techniques, some extra battle techniques, stray beads, sun fragments, really the whole works. And next time on Ōkami, we are going to be doing one last thing here in the main area of Kamui now that it is nighttime, and then we are going to be heading off to the Ōina village. So without further ado, thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys next time.
Ōkami